So you start off and you kind of basically clear the slate, hopefully. People read that and they hopefully just like go everything down to zero. And I'm guessing what you want them to do is now start adding back the things that are important.
Yes.
Is that what your thought was there?
Yes. It's, the first half of the book is actually just, it's more of, we're going to start at zero, and your mind needs to create hope and meaning somehow. And so I kind of take people through how the mind does it. So I talk about the two brains, the thinking brain, the feeling brain.
Should we talk about that?
Sure.
All right. So what are these two brains and how come they don't really talk to each other or understand each other very well?
So I've got this thing in my work where it's like I come up with these silly metaphors to kind of describe these very complex psychological concepts. And so I've got the thinking brain, the feeling brain, and the way I guess you could say a description of mental health is like you've got these two brains in your head. Thinking brain thinks in terms of like logical, rational thought. It's very conscious. Feeling brain is like impulsive, it's desires, emotions. It's very unconscious most of the time. And it's almost like two people stuck in a car together that speak at different languages. And so our goal in terms of like being mentally and emotionally healthy individuals is getting those two people to learn how to communicate well. Get your thinking brain to become adept at recognizing emotions when they're happening and interpreting those emotions in good ways. And then getting your feeling brain to recognize and respond appropriately to what's happening, to what the thinking brain is proposing or suggesting.
Okay. And most of us are on an emotional brain roller coaster where the emotional brain is...
Well, the emotional brain is driving the car.
Okay.
We like to think it's the other way. We like to think that the thinking brain's driving the car and the feeling brain's kind of this like obnoxious kid in the passenger, but it's really the child's driving the car.
And then what does that mean, or what does that look like then in our life? Everything is being decided based on feelings.
Yeah, well...
And we reverse engineer that into
motivation is decided by feelings.
Okay.
So we've all had this experience of, like, I know I should get up at 6 a.m. and go to the gym. I know that's the right thing to do, but I don't do it. Every day comes and I don't do it. So we have, that's an example of the feeling brain. The thinking brain has one idea, like, it's like, this is what we should do, but the feeling brain is just not doing it. It's like, no, doesn't feel good. Not going there. And so part of the job of the thinking brain is to find a way to make that feel good. Like, this is why habits don't stick. It's because it's not about doing it. It's not about willpower. You got to find a way to make the result enjoyable.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to make the gym feel good.
Yeah.
Once it feels good, you don't need any willpower. You just get up and go do it. So that's actually, so I talk about self-discipline as actually very much an emotional process. And that's what I mean by that, is like, you have to kind of negotiate with your emotions to get yourself to do something, because if it doesn't feel good, you're not going to do it more than a couple times.
Yeah, no, that's really well said. I mean, yeah, if you talk to like an addict, it's like, that's like the white knuckle concept. It's like, all right, so I'm an alcoholic. I'm not going to drink for a day or two. You could probably white knuckle it.
Yep.
But you don't see an emotional upside, so you're not going to stop because the drinking feels too good.
Yeah.
Now, the day where maybe you're hitting rock bottom and then your emotional upside says, wow, if I'm a sober person, okay, my kids are going to respect me. I'll respect myself. I can do all these things. Like, the day that becomes emotionally appealing to you, you might have a chance. Yeah. But until it does, you're never going to have a chance, right?
And it's funny because it's actually funny you bring that up, because I think in an original draft, I think I even used AA as an example. Like, AA gets criticized a lot because it's not scientific. But it works for a lot of people. Yeah. And I think the reason it does work is that ultimately it just puts them in a context where quitting is more pleasurable than drinking. You surround yourself by groups of people who have lived your same experience, who relate to you, and who ideally you respect, And once you stop drinking, you're going to earn their validation and approval. They're going to cheer for you. They're going to applaud for you. They're going to recognize you in front of groups of people. You're going to get friendships, community, all these things that you probably didn't have before. And at a certain point, it's like that the scale tips, and it's like suddenly it's like, wow, it's more pleasurable to not drink than it is to go get hammered again.
Yeah.
You know?